Hi, this is Bobby Warren of AfterJournalism.com. Welcome to the channel that is devoted to helping journalists become their own bosses and kind of leave that corporate media behind and embark on a career in freelance writing or as I did, with all the skills I learned as a journalist. I do writing, I do editing, I do videography and search engine optimization, especially content optimization, where I analyze content and make recommendations to get that content ranking higher in Google. Welcome to the After Journalism YouTube channel. Are you ready to dive in? All right, our topic for today is launch a successful writing career in 2023. Now, I know it can be scary for journalists because you're used to, having a steady paycheck, just go in, put your hours in, get paid, and you don't have to worry about a lot of things. You get benefits like healthcare, insurance, 401k match sometimes. I believe Gannett just stopped that or froze that or something. But, you get sick pay, vacation time, and I don't get any of that. I have to fund all that by myself. But I'll tell you what, um, I would not hesitate to do it again. I left a journalism career in 2018, started my business on January 8th, 2018. So I'm right about the 5-year mark, and it has been a tremendous blessing. A lot of flexibility, more money, um, and I get to make my own schedule, pick my own clients. I don't have an assignment editor or managing editor, or city editor, news editor telling me what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. So, are you ready to make that jump? And let me tell you, it's a lot easier if you do that while your spouse still has a job with benefits, but there's ways around that. And we'll touch on that in other videos as well, and you can look at some of the links in the description. But if you want to start out on a successful freelance career, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have a strong presence online, you know. And if you're in journalism, you're likely a pro at social media by now. It's funny how, some journalists seem to be afraid of it. You know, it's like, it's almost like pulling teeth trying to get them to share their stories on, on social media to give that piece extra reach and all that. But when you are your own boss, when you don't have people behind you to promote the newspaper or your program or whatever, it's all up to you. So you have to have a strong online presence. So for me, it's mainly Twitter and Facebook. And, I'm trying to build this YouTube channel uh, and turn it into a profit center. I am not there yet. I'm still a ways off, but every little bit helps, right? So uh, I know a lot of people have had good success on LinkedIn. I'm not a big fan of LinkedIn, but that might be a place for you to thrive. Just because I don't like it that much doesn't mean that you can't be successful building up a network on LinkedIn. But you have to be out there, you have to be engaging. Uh, you have to follow people who are doing what you do. Uh, So get out there, and you also need to have a website. You know, that can be a place where you can promote your work because you need to develop a strong online presence. Social media has the word social in it, so be social on social media networks. When I think I got on Twitter like in 2010, and at the time everyone was trying to tout themselves as a social media guru, right? And but they never interacted with anybody else. So they may have been a media guru, but they weren't a social media guru. So when you build up your presence, you also need to create, or if you haven't done so already, you need to build your portfolio. This is your writing samples. This way you can let people know that what you're capable of, the types of stories that you've done, and this will kind of be an indicator of what you can do for them. Now, some of the services you can use to have an online portfolio, one you might have already, and that is Muckrake. Um, I did nothing to create my muckrack.com portfolio. It picked up that I was a journalist at the time, and it created this thing for me, this profile for me. Now, I would later go ahead and uh, tweak it, once I learned I had it, because like I just did nothing to create it. And it's not a bad thing if you look at this, right? I have like 135 pieces on here. Now, the problem is with this, I can't add to it. I can't edit it anymore because I no longer have my journalism email address. Uh, Here was a website that I created a little, number of years ago. I've since let it drop, but I was I was posting local stories there that people, even though I was gone from journalism, people still wanted me to write. And so I had the worcesterscene.com, but I since let that domain go by the wayside. But anyway, Muckrack is a great place to highlight your work, but I just can't access it anymore. So I'm on it, but I can't do anything with it. So is it a viable solution for you? Maybe, but for how long, I don't know. And I'm not going to pay to create, you know, or to be able to access that. So it's just sitting out there for people to look at. And so sometimes if a potential client wants to see my writings, I just send them over. I'll say, hey, you can go there, or you can look at my websites. I have afterjournalism.com and I have worcester.media. Now, there's another site out there and that I just learned about, and it seems interesting. It's clippings.me, and it's created for journalists to show their writings. Now, you can, with this, they have a tier that is free for life. It lets you display a small selection of clips. So you're going to be limited. How limited are you? I don't know. But when you're getting started out, if it's free, it's for me. So you can start out with free, start making some money. Maybe you switch over to a professional plan. And so, what is a professional plan? How much will that send you back? Well, it will set you back about $10 a month, $100 a year. So you're going to save a couple of months if you do that. And here, as you'll see, you have unlimited clippings, unbranded for portfolio, a custom domain. So a custom domain is good. Uh, so I imagine we'll see here in a second. If you set up uh, a portfolio on clippings.me and you don't have a custom domain, then you're just going to be using their domain name slash probably your name. Let's take a look at that real quick. Uh, and like I said, I've never used that service, but it's designed for journalists, so it could be helpful. $10 a month is not bad if you need it for a little bit until you get your website up. Uh, but anyway, you can have a website, and if you learn to build it yourself, for about $10 a month, a little less when you get started out because they're going to give you a little teaser rate, to get you going. But here's here's what one of their portfolio pages looks like. Let's see how we can do this here. Give me just a second. All right. So, um, so this writer is a science writer, and she has her clippings. This is Audrey Carson. I do not know Audrey, but I just did a search on Ohio since I live in Northeast Ohio, and she was one of two writers who came up. This is her portfolio, uh, stuff that she has written, right? This goes back to 2016. It doesn't look bad as a place to store your clippings, but if you had your own website, you know, that is something that you can do. For example, I don't even have it set up, but if I go to my after journalism website, so you know, on my website, I list out the things that I do. I got my YouTube content. This is a content optimization course I created. Um, and here's my blog, so people can find find out what I'm writing about. I can put samples there. My preference would be for you to have your own um, website with a blog, and the simple reason is you control it. This is the blog, alternative careers for journalists. Start looking now. Um, you've seen all the layoffs, with Gannett. Uh, I do content optimization, and I love this tool phrase. It is incredible. Uh, I'll talk about attending blog conferences here in just a second. But, um, when you share your stuff on social media, it's good if you're sending them back to your website because they might look at something else there as well. Once you're created your portfolio or even your website, um, you're going to want to stay up with what's going on in the industry. I follow a lot of people on Twitter. That's where I get most of my updates. And I have like I said, a lot of friends, they're writing for financial services companies, insurance companies, or I should say sites. They might not be writing for these companies directly, but publishers who cover financial services, personal finance, insurance, credit cards, travel, and these types of things. And one of the things they were talking about last year is how uh, a lot of their clients, like these large publishers, were cutting their rates. And so it's good to know that, so if you're going out as a freelancer, it's kind of good to know like where there are opportunities, like where there are limitations. So if publishers are cutting back on their rates, they're obviously trying to save money, reduce costs, uh, eliminate expenses. So that might mean they might need less writers. Or it can also be an opportunity for you because let's say somebody's making, I don't know, $600 a piece, right, for something they write, and the publisher drops that down to 400. So if you're making 600, maybe you can't do it for 400, right? You need to make more money. If you're a journalist, especially at these smaller newspapers, you're probably, if you look at what you're making per story, you're probably making 100, maybe 250 a story, depending on how many stories you do a week. I know people who pay a writer $35 a story. Some pay, some newspapers will pay, or like Stringer, with their version of a freelancer, $50 a story, maybe $75 a story. So if you're making 100 a story, 200 a story, you can afford to work for 400 a story, where if you're making 600, you can't. So if you know what's going on in the industry, it'll help you find opportunities, or avoid opportunities as well. I've talked about friends I had in this industry. It's important to build networks and relationships. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I don't like LinkedIn very well. About the only kind of interaction I get on LinkedIn is somebody sending me a direct message letting me know they're trying to build their network in the Midwest. What that means, I have no clue. But they're not really looking for a relationship with me. They're not looking to do business with me. I think they're just trying to find ways to extract money from me. Other than on LinkedIn, I've been able to build networks. As I mentioned earlier, right? You can attending blogging conferences and writing conferences and FinCon, that helped my business so much. The person who got me into SEO, I met at a blogging conference where she was giving a presentation to bloggers about SEO, right? That led to me starting a business. At FinCon, I developed relationships back in 2018 that still paying dividends to me. I hooked up with a great client, and nearly 5 years later, I'm managing content on their site, arranging for freelancers, writing, editing, and it's just been a wonderful opportunity. And as a journalist, you already know so many people, in town. Business owners, nonprofit leaders, you know, government leaders, education leaders. All of those people can help you build your freelance writing business. I would encourage you in a good way, leverage those relationships because they can help you. This next one is one where it's do as I say, not as I do. I am not great at setting goals. My goal for this year is to do more YouTube videos, write more pieces for my afterjournalism.com website, and create another online course. So those are my goals, right? We'll see. We'll see how well I do with that. Like I said, one of the things that I really want to do is I want to really build up my after journalism website. And part of the reason is that one, it can help me pick up new clients, but also as a way to earn additional income through affiliate marketing and selling digital products like my course that I have on Gumroad. So I hope to do more with afterjournalism.com. If you don't have any goals, right, how are you going to set your course for success? I know you can just go out there and wing it, but you need to have a plan in place. All right, if I'm going to set off for my freelance career, I'm going to look for who are some people in town who might need my services, right? then what are some conferences I can attend, and just start building out. But it starts with an idea, starts with a vision, and then you just got to put put a plan together and take those steps so that you can be successful. That's about all I had to share today. Is there something that you're concerned about? You have a question about? Just drop a question in the comments. No matter where you're watching this, whether it's Twitter, on in one of my Facebook business pages, on YouTube, wherever you're watching this video, drop a comment, and I'll make sure to get that question answered for you. All right, so thanks for spending some time with me, and let's make 2023 a great year for us. All right, let's do this thing together. Take care, and I hope you have a wonderful 2023. Thank you. Hey, and if you've seen anything you like, hit like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And so when you hit like and subscribe, YouTube's gonna just push this content out to more and more people, which would help me out. So if you found this information helpful, I'd appreciate you doing that. And also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I publish a video. Thanks so much. In the meantime, visit afterjournalism.com. This is Bobby Warren signing off.